Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. Uh, so anyway, I love you all, and this video is to inspire you. Yeah, you and you and you and you and you. There's so many of you. I lost count. So this video here is to inspire all of you to come on out in nature somewhere. Go find a hike. Go take a hike. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you could find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman, Starlight. And you can also give this video a thumbs up. Plus, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you could share my videos with your family, your friends, a lizard or a snake, silly old snake. And besides that, you could follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman, Starlight. So Starlight's got a treat for you, and anytime you do a video or pictures, it's nothing like being there, actually, literally being there. So here we go. A little treat for all of you from Starlight. So I have met some beautiful people as I've been heading on this trail here. So I figured, hey, instead of me just sitting, and making a video, I'm like, hey, you know what? I can get two birds with one stone by enjoying this beautiful hike and to make a video at the same time. So, before I even say any more, I just want to say thank you to all of you. Yeah, you is thank you for being here on my YouTube channel and loving and supporting Starlight, plus subscribing and leaving messages or even sharing any of my videos. So I'm going to just show you really quick. This is a huge tree, but the camera doesn't do it justice. So I'm just letting you know that is a huge tree. If they had a hole in it, I'd be able to walk through it. So anyway, this video is to inspire all of you, to, now I don't know who has kids and who doesn't have kids, but this is to inspire all of you, is to start your kids off right, is when you have kids, the sooner the better, is to get them used to nature, bring them out. Sorry, Starlight's gonna zoom that out. But to get them out as young as possible, get them used to, taking hikes, bring everything that you can to make them feel comfortable. You don't want them to be miserable on a hiking trip, and so that is why I'm making this video here, is to inspire all of you to, especially if you have kids. But this is not just, look at how beautiful this is. These trees are huge, but on this video, they don't look huge. Let me see. Yeah, even if then, it's not the real deal. So anyway, and it is kind of funny in the Bible time, they do say in the Bible, it does say in the Bible that there was giant in the days, and these trees are nothing compared to the biggest tree ever found on the earth. So anyway, like I was saying, is I'm inspiring you on this video is to really start your kids off right by getting them out in nature. Get them away from the computer, the tablets. I don't even know all the technology out there that they have, laptops, computers, even video games. And I'm so far behind on what kind of, video game equipment there are these days. And my kids are much older, and it's kind of funny, even though my son plays video games, he goes to work, he's a dad, he does it with his time when he is free to have that time to play video games, and it's the same games he played when he was living with me. So but he's more responsible now, being a father and a husband, so, and that is why it's so important to start your kids off right. Even if you have a dog, is to, the dogs would love you. Some areas, though, in this area, this trail here, you cannot bring dogs for, there's people that kind of ruin it for other people. And there's people that sometimes they let their dogs off on a leash, you know, where it does stir up problems. But there's many people out there that are dog owners that are not doing a good job as far as picking their dog's doo-doo up. Sometimes they actually pick up their doo-doo and put it in a bag, but then leave the bag for somebody else. So this video is to really inspire you all to take some time out and find a place to go hiking. And like I said, is to get your children out, you know, get them away from the video games. And Dad, Mom, you too, you know, yes, you too. I'm just going to show you how beautiful this is. Of course, this video where I don't have the greatest camera, but I'm not complaining. I'm grateful for the camera I have. But no matter what, I don't think any camera could really show you really how beautiful this is, like being here. So yes, this video is to inspire you. Like I said, is if you got kids, make sure, you know what, pack up a good lunch, a healthy lunch, you know, where you can have it in the car, or even bring healthy snacks, you know, bring plenty of liquid. And the more you keep them pulled away from the computer and the, you know, video games, you know, and especially if you didn't start off right with your kids, it will take extra work to get them adjusted to getting them outside and really get into the hike with your kids. You know, when you take them out, you know, do some like, look for animals. Look at, now right here, look at these. These are so full. Get them to really enjoy nature. Starlight is a freaking nature nut. I can't go and without Starlight taking pictures or short little videos, you know, like these beautiful ferns. And those are not edible right now, but when before in the spring they were edible, depending on the ferns, but those look like the ones that are the edible ones. But, you know, teach them about nature. Find out yourself, like, what are edible plants out on the land, you know, and teach your kids, like, hey, look at this. This is edible and this is not edible. And it is so important that way. Then they're educated at a young age, and when they're adults, they will know when they're adults, when they bring their own kids, hey, do not eat that. That is not a good plant. But yeah, make it like a, you know, a nature trip. And like I said, is to make sure, bring some healthy snacks, get their minds off their computer, get their minds off the video games. Father, yeah, Dad, Mom, you too, you know, because these days, because on phones, I have seen, and I was so blown away when I seen this. Now this looks huge. But I've seen, as I take my car to an auto mechanic somewhere, that I've seen even older women that are old enough to be my mother, and now they're on their cell phones playing little games on their phone because they got little games. So when you know, are sitting around waiting for something, it makes people feel not so awkward by just not using their phone. So yeah, these days, even moms and dads, you know, can get distracted on doing things, you know, maybe spending too much time scrolling on the computer. What are you looking at? TikTok? Well, hopefully if you're watching TikTok, hopefully it's stuff that will help you to, you know, become your greatest version, or, you know, videos to help you to be that change that you want to see in the world. Hopefully it's not stuff, you know, foolish things. Now, Starlight, do you watch TikTok? Yeah. But Starlight, you said that we shouldn't be watching TikTok, you know? And yes, I did say that, but I said something more to that sentence. You know, you don't want to be watching stuff that's wasting your time and distracting you from working on yourself. That's why if you're watching videos, short little videos on TikTok about becoming your greatest version or be the change in the world, is that Starlight does watch TikTok. When I'm having car issues, I will go on YouTube, and there are short little videos And this is another reason why you can, these are good videos to watch that will help you know how to fix things in emergency, when you're like, ah. Now, anybody that has had car troubles, when they're looking for a video on YouTube, guess what everybody wants? Get to the point of how to fix this thing, So that's when people, I'll tell you, that's when people's patience grow thin, and especially Starlight is the same way. When you really want to get something fixed right away, it's an emergency. And so short little videos on TikTok that really, boom, they get right to the point of how to fix that problem. And then, of course, they have bigger, longer videos that will talk about different things, explaining different things, and then they get to the point, and then they have extra information that you might not need at the time of the emergency. So yeah, so Starlight, but that's a very rare case, is if I'm watching any TikTok. So and I do make videos for have made videos for TikTok, and most of them are to inspire you. And I do put animal videos out on my TikTok because animals are amazing. So you can learn a lot about animals. They teach us so many different things in life, or even to make a video to make you laugh for a little bit and lighten up in life. So, but it's not ridiculous, stupid stuff like watching somebody dance around and fall down or something like that. No. So you really want to be mindful is the time that you have. A lot of people are so distracted in life, they don't understand that, their reality is not what they think it is, and that this is a stimulation. We're in a matrix, and it is all set up to distract you. It's all set up to, get your mind and attention on things that absolutely don't matter. So, and that is why it's so important that what matters is about getting out in nature. And this is how you can get, ooh, that was a little animal, get connected with Mother Earth and Gaia out here, is to get out in nature. And this is where you can find out who you are. I came out here is because somebody told me this is one of these places out here is a great place to go to get in touch with the spirit when you have questions, is to, and this is why Starlight is out here, is to get alone with myself. I've been kind of caged up for a week and a half with my car broken down, and I had nowhere to go. And so now, after being trapped, and not having anywhere to go except for the same place every day, Starlight needs alone time and some peace and quiet. So, and that is what is good for you is, to, from all the hassling, of going to work, dropping the kids off, that is if you have kids, or, just that busy life is, they have it set up this way, the way they have life, where you're so busy trying to make money, pick up the kids and bring them to school, that they really don't give you a whole lot of time to have a life, So a lot of times people are working just to pay for the car, the house, all the stuff, lots of stuff in the house. And then they got to do, yard work. Sometimes people will call up like landscapers, to come to their house to mow the grass, or they might, like Starlight used to clean for people. They might have to hire people to come because they don't even, they don't even have the energy to come home and clean their house up after a busy week. They just want to rest and not have to worry about it. And that's why Starlight thought that was my life purpose, is I thought, I found my life purpose is to help people to get their house clean. And when they get home, it's all nice, fresh and clean. And sometimes Starlight did some organizing at people's houses, or even dog sitting, where they could come home and they can have more time with their family. So I thought I was doing my life purposes. And that is why I'm out here doing what I'm doing, being guided by the universe, is finding out who I am and what my life purpose is. So this is what is the most important thing that you can do in your life. But by getting out with Mother Earth, planet Earth, Mother Gaia, this is how you can find out who you are, is because this is when you're out here, this is when you're in the now, you're in the moment, you know. Anytime I go out for a hike, you know, I could have had tons of problems and thoughts, you know, before I got here. You know, I could have a whole lot of stuff going on in my head, you know, but when I get out here in nature, I forget about the things that I might have been thinking about, you know, on the way here. So that is why it's so important to get out in nature and get your kids used to that at a very young age and get them outside, get them used to being outside in nature, because they're going to thank you later on when they have their own kids to bring them out and explore the world and see what the world has to offer them, you know, and the beauty in life. So and that is why it's so important to, you know, make sure that your kids, or even you, if you go out hiking, make sure, you know what, plan a whole day, you know, and like, hey, you know what, this is a huge tree. I mean, it looks, by looking at this video, this tree is like 2 times bigger than this tree. Yeah, but it looks small compared to being right here. So yeah, so you want to make sure, you know, when you go out, you know, you got some time off on the weekend, you got a day off. Well, you know what, plan it ahead of time and say, you know what, we're going to take a whole day and we're going to go out and find an interesting place. And that, you know, I've seen parents do this on this journey, is they bring their kids out to a place, and it is a hiking trail, but, you know, to be honest with you, it was out in the middle of the sun. There was no water around. You know, the kids got hot, they got cranky, and they got bored because it wasn't exciting. So you really got to find places that, you know, the kids love, no matter if they're a boy or a girl, they love to run around in a stream of water, to even collect bugs on the way through, you know. So you got to kind of be wise of the kind of places that you want to pick to get your kids interested in hiking in the first place, and make sure you bring plenty of stuff for them on the way. So, hey, don't even tell them that you got stuff, you know. Pack up some goodies in your bag, you know, backpack. You know, mom and dad can carry the backpack on their back when, you know, have the kids have their, you know, their favorite healthy snack or something, sandwiches or whatever. And when they get cranky and like, I want to get out of here, I'm hungry. Here you go. Here, I got you. Look at this. Oh, they'll forget all about it, you know. So that is why it's so important to have them get as comfortable. Make sure that they're not wearing too much clothing, you know. So then when they go through the trip, you know, the hiking trip, that they're not getting hot because they got too much clothes on. And the timing, you know, figure, you know, always got to stretch out the time as far as going for a hike, because you might want to stop on the way through. Like Starlight, I mean, a hiking trail might say it's going to take an hour. Well, it's going to take longer for Starlight to go on that hiking trip. You know, that says an hour because Starlight's always stopping. You know, in the beginning of this hiking trail here, I wasn't getting very far. I was like, wow, look at this. See, like I do this a lot. I like, hey, I got to look at the trees over there, take pictures of this. Oh, I got to go down by the stream of water, you know, and that would be, if anything, get your kids a camera where they can learn to take beautiful pictures and joy, you know, and you can even help them to inspire them by, they don't need like a cell phone, but if you got them like a special camera, I loved it when I was younger, like 14 years old or younger, is when I got my first camera. So get them interested in doing things like that, where they can take cool looking pictures out in nature, and, you know, where you can go through other beautiful pictures that they took, and, you know, you can have it on their computer as a screensaver. I think that's what they call them, or whatever, or even to make that a special picture, like a family picture, where you inspire them, you encourage them to get out in nature and get used to knowing how to use a camera and take beautiful pictures of animals or bugs. So you can have fun with hiking. It shouldn't be boring. That's why you want to Google online and like, wow, this looks like a beautiful place to go. Look at this, all these different pictures that they put on hiking trails to say, wow, yeah, the kids would love that. Find out when you take your kids out or even family, find out what everybody loves and, go for those kind of hiking trails. You don't want to, like I said, there's some trails that I've been on and there's trails I won't even go because I'm like, it's just going to take me out in the middle of a field and the whole trip is, a field, there's no beautiful trees, and you're in a beating sun. So think of those things when you do go out, or even beautiful parks, something, even if you brought them to a park to get them used to it. And try not to have fear. You guys have to be comfortable at doing it yourself, so then they're not afraid. If you're afraid of going in the woods, then you're going to cause that fear to go on your kids. So you got to really try to learn to enjoy it yourself if you're an adult and you have kids, is to, if you want to get them away from the video game and you want to keep them away from bad apples out there, not the ones that you eat, but maybe they don't have the greatest taste in friends, is to say, hey, let's go for a hiking trip. Ooh, look at this. This hole goes right down. It's like this is the one floor and it goes down and drops to and we're in a tree. This is where you can have fun and say, hey, check the hole out and down below. You can climb down. There's a way. It looks like other people have done this. You can look in the hole, make sure it's safe, and take pictures. And that could be an awesome picture for your kids to have in their bedroom. It could be on their dresser or on the wall. And they'd be like, wow, I had a lot of fun that day. So parents, you got to get out of yourself and think of, the crazy shit you would done, when you're a kid, and what you would like to do, and do that for your kids, not just for your kids, but yourself, So anyway, I know now you probably want me to keep going and say, hey, what else is on this trail? Ha ha ha. You now see, Starlight is teasing all of you, is that, yeah, it is so important, is to get the kids away from the computer and, away from their cell phones. Now, if they have a cell phone already, you can inspire them to use their camera more than, looking on the internet or watching TikTok or whatever, or video games. It's like, hey, we already gave you the cell phone, so, you could teach them how to use a camera, and they can also learn how to do fun things with a camera, with making funny things added into the picture. So anyway, I love you so much. Have fun with your kids. Have fun with yourself. You could do the same thing. You can have like a picture of the woods, like out here. This would be a great place to do this. Is you can find a picture of like a picture on like Canva or somewhere online of like Bigfoot running around, and you could add Bigfoot to a picture with your child there. It would be a great picture for your kids to have in their room, just a little funny thing to do with your kids, to lighten up in life and to be creators. That's what we are, as creators, creating our reality, whether you're like, hey, however your reality is, you created it. If you're, your life is a mess, well, that is something that you created. And just because it looks messy, just because it doesn't look good, or you don't feel comfortable, you're not going to stay there. I'm just going to let you know that is, but you got to take action to get out of those situations that you're in. You got to rethink about the choices that you make. That's what causes us to get in bad situations, is not making the right choices and the right decisions in our life. And those are lessons for you to learn. Okay, if I don't feel comfortable right now, what is it that the universe is trying to teach me right now? So anyway, I love you. If you're an adult and you have kids, come on, bring them out in nature. And I did see a lady and she had a little baby. So I'm going to put that. I asked her permission to take a picture of her, and it was a beautiful picture. It was a beautiful nature picture of her and her baby. So if she can come out here, they took their shoes off, and got in a little stream of water, getting their child used to the water. And that is why I wanted to make this video. It's a beautiful picture. So she gave me permission to be able to put that on my YouTube channel. So anyway, you could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. You could share my videos with your family or friends. Bigfoot! You could share my video. I don't know if I'm going to find a picture of Bigfoot on my phone because I don't know how to do other things on my phone yet. Not saying I won't learn. It's just right now, yet, I don't know how to do those things. But besides sharing my videos with Bigfoot is you can also share my videos with an alien. Shit, yeah. Aliens love hiking. They know this is the place to be. And also is to, you can share these videos. Oh, yeah, that's what you're doing. You're sharing with Bigfoot. And you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight or on Facebook, and that's Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So have fun, and if you have a dog, make sure you play, that you bring some extra water for your dog in a little bowl, or however you give your dog water. Make sure you bring lots of little doggy bags. Don't leave your doggy doo-doo around because it's not right for other people. There's somebody that will go around. It would be the dog, the dog. Starlight isn't that. It will be a dog collector, wait, dog poopy fairy that will come by, because somebody will actually say, I got to pick this dog, dog baggie of somebody else's dog doo-doo up because it doesn't belong here. So don't save that job for somebody else. And that's why there's some places they don't want dogs, because there's people that leave their dog shit behind for other people to pick up. Either they don't even use the bag. So make sure you bring plenty of doggy bags, plenty of treats for your kids. Make sure they're not overdressed. Make sure they got the sunscreen, whatever you use, or even a hat to cover their heads so they don't get too hot. And the right time of the day, where you're going to go. And I love you so much, it is so wise to do this to help your kids out, start them off right by getting them out in nature. I love you so much. This is Starlight, and namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.